More entanglements and no more entanglements. No more entanglements.
So what's good, homies? It's your man, Dr. BOA. Will Smith has been off the radar. His wife Jada's been pretty much zipping her lip, and they've been pushed to the background. You know, there've been other people in the forefront. But recently, at the SAG Awards, they were on the red carpet, and the host brought up a couple of things from their past that just serve as a reminder that if you ever accept a woman's foolishness and allow her to mistreat you and dog you out, you're forever going to be embarrassed by those things as long as you take her back. When you, as a man, accept that a woman has been unfair or cruel or giving you ill treatment or giving you some foul treatment you didn't deserve, or even if you did deserve it in her mind, you must also at the same time accept the fact that you have diminished your own value. And if you hold yourself in low regard, you can never expect your woman to hold you in higher regard than you hold yourself. She's not built to do that. Let's take a deep dive on this one. But first, let's elevate to a higher plane. Prepare for takeoff. Now, when you hear a woman say that there will be no more of that, I won't do that again, that means that whoever she offended has accepted her and told himself that I deserve whatever she gave me enough to where I can find a way to justify it in my mind and keep that woman with me. Will Smith is notorious for this. But let's take a listen to this video, man, and we'll come back and chop it up on a real tip.
Fingers crossed. This will hopefully be your year. We love you. Thank you for all the years of joy you've brought us. Thank you. We can't wait for more red table talk and more entanglements and no more entanglements. No more entanglements.
And a lot of times when men function this way or function in this capacity in a relationship, it's because they've forgotten who they are and they've fallen so far in love with the woman. They have forgotten the original emotional damage that caused them to be in love in the first place. Now, what you hear is a man who's very quiet because there's nothing he can do but laugh about the situation. You see how the host addressed him, told him, thank you for all the joy, thank you for all the things you've done, then turned around to the woman and addressed her for the one thing she's famous for, her entanglement. That was a stone throw at her for not even being woman enough to call it what it was. And Will can't do anything about it because the court of public opinion has ruled that he's in a position of powerlessness. Not just based on that act of the entanglement, but the way Will interacts with this woman. See, when you put yourself in a position of powerless in a relationship with a woman, you forever be powerless. You can't suddenly wake up one day and you're in a position of power. The position of power must be gained and maintained throughout the course of a relationship. The very moment you give it up, it's gone forever. You never get it back. And many men don't seem to understand that. See, being in love is just a result of unresolved emotional damage from one of two things. Either lack of love and compassion as a child from your parents, or being overly loved and coddled as a child. And knowing Will's history, he shared his history, he didn't get enough love. So when you don't get enough love as a child, you end up becoming an adult who overloves everyone. Because you believe that the reason you didn't get love is because you didn't give enough love. You know the type of things they teach you as a young boy. Just love everyone and be fair to everyone and be considerate to everyone. They never tell you that there's a bunch of evil, wicked snakes out here in this world. They don't tell you that you fall head over heels with a woman and she gonna intentionally, willingly break your heart because she had no intention on being with you in the first place, but she knew she could capitalize on the love you had for her. They don't tell you that you could be in a situation with some people that you think are your friends and they'll leave you out to dry, or they'll, worse yet, get in trouble and say that it was you to lighten their time. They don't tell you that you're in a society, in a system where people will rather see you fall than to see you climb and reach the top. They love to see you start from the bottom, but when you get about halfway up, they want to pull you back down. They don't tell you that. So you end up being a man who's in a scenario where you believe you're out here dealing with the world, you understand the world, but you never get to the point where you understand the dynamic of the relationship between a man and his wife. That relationship is controlled by someone. And if not you, then certainly her. See, when you think about it, you cannot be in a situation where you love the woman, not her actions. You can never love the woman as a person. You have to love her actions. She has to earn any love from you by her actions. And therefore, if she earns the love with her actions, then you truly love the actions, not the woman, because if she stops the actions, you stop the love. But many men can't do that. Why? Because you are so needy for love or any semblance of something that resembles love that you're willing to take anything, a la Will Smith. And Will has been in the habit of taking just about anything. See, the reality of the scenario is this. You can get into the habit of wanting to rescue and save and protect the woman so much that you forget to protect you. Now, when Will was on that red table talk with those tears in his eyes, looking like he was the most embarrassed, hurt, discombobulated man on the planet, that woman just drove it in deeper. She didn't have any compassion for him. Then as you see in this video, the whole entanglement thing is a joke. It's a joke to everybody but Will. Whenever you take a woman back after her foolishness, it's going to be a joke to everyone but you. Why? Because it never was a joke to you. It never was, and it never will be. There is no point that Will will be able to laugh about the word entanglement because it rings true and honest in his life as one of the many excuses his wife made for her actions. See, what you may have to understand is that giving anyone the right to mistreat you isn't falling in love with them. It's falling in hate with yourself. At that very moment, Will realized he didn't love himself. And how do you give someone the right? You can say,
well, that be away. Well, you don't know what somebody gonna do that be away. How you gonna tell somebody, man, you can't let a woman, you can't let a woman mistreat you. You didn't know what the woman gonna do that be away. You didn't know. You thought the woman was the one for you that be away. You thought she was the one. You ain't never know that the woman gonna catch you back out like that be away. You did not know that the woman, man, was sleeping one eye open. Boy, you ain't know you should have slept one eye open to keep the woman from doing the things she did. You thought you were all in love that be away. And who are you to tell the man he don't have the right to be in love with the woman that be away? Well, you don't know that about women.
unsubscribe. Okay, unsubscribe, sucker. But before you go, let me tell you this. When you think that giving someone more love will stop them from mistreating you, will stop them from misbehaving, will stop them from disrespecting you, you're telling yourself that if I struggle a little bit harder, even though I don't know how to swim, if I struggle a little bit harder, then suddenly I'll make it back to the beach. I'll make it back to the bank. I'll make it back to the edge of the pool. That's not true. You have to learn from the things that are going on. You have to learn how someone views you, how someone feels about you. You have to learn that someone doesn't respect you by their actions. Stop worrying about a woman's love. Stop worrying about a woman's consideration. Stop worrying about anything other than her behavior. Her actions will determine if you have yourself a woman worth even talking about or not. See, what you have to understand is when you lead with your emotions, it makes you attempt to overlook every single thing someone does because you believe love conquers all. Love conquers all is the most feminine mindset in the history of the world. Love does not conquer all. Sometimes war takes place. Sometimes cutting people off. The only love that conquers all is the love of self, the love of God. There are no other loves that conquer. And here's the thing. Women understand loving the things you do. That's why Will got to pay all the bills. That's why Steve Harvey got to pay all the bills. That's why many men out here who are in the relationship with women who wouldn't have chosen them first have to pay the bills. See, there's a difference between a beta male provider and paying the cost to be the boss. Paying the cost to be the boss, that's something you do for yourself. Being a beta male provider, that's something you do for the woman. And many of these men who are in these situations end up in this same situation as Will. Because you get caught up in the need to give and receive emotional support to and from your woman. And the only men who do that are head over heels in love men. And also the only men who find themselves in situations where they take any type of crap from their woman and keep her anyway and work harder to try to rebuild the trust that she destroyed. You're going to work harder to rebuild it. This is an example and a warning to you men. Never allow yourself to fall head over heels in love with your woman, because you won't be able to leave her. And you won't be able to withdraw the benefits of being with you from her to make her leave you either. So you'll be stuck in a situation with a woman that you don't want, who don't want you. The only difference is you in love with her. She doesn't share that same emotional attachment to you. Y'all comment down below and let me know what you think about this topic, man. I look forward to hearing what you men have to say. I'm out.
Trying to become the most alpha version of you. Trying to become the most alpha version of you. Striving to become the most alpha version of you. Fighting to become the most alpha version of you. Welcome to the alphasphere. Get money division. The place where you transform into a man on a mission.